Good evening to you, obvious ministers. Two police officers are in a condition that cannot be confirmed or ascertained at present after a police car that they were in collided with a moving train. And the police car got involved in this accident after the driver failed to stop. Now, the picture that we're seeing on the screen here is that of the police car that collided with this moving train. If you're coming in right now, to let us know where you are logging in from, our viewers, readers, and listeners. This is your news network. We're starting straight away. Yeah, so quickly, obviously, good evening to you. So the accident happened near the VID in Gweru, the Midlands town of Gweru, when this police vehicle that we're seeing in the picture collided with a moving train. Our viewers and listeners, two police officers, their condition is still to be known, is still to be ascertained after their police vehicle was involved in this accident that we're seeing on the screen here. We could not ascertain, we are still to ascertain their condition. And we can see in the picture there the accident as it happened. We're going to post a link here for people to follow. Click and follow in the link and give us your feedback, our viewers, readers, and listeners. Good evening to you. This is your news network, Zimai.com. Hear the sound of my voice there. My name is Simba Chikanza. Beaming to you live right now. It's very late in the night. It is 9:21 right over here. What time is it where you are? Just type it in the comment box right there, our viewers, witnesses. This is the latest breaking news. Your network's website at present relates to a Mahindra vehicle that collided with a moving train near the VID, the Vehicle Inspection Department in Gweru. Are you there in Gweru? Kanamuriko Gweru. Come in, let us know where you're logging in from, join in, and let us speak. As you can see, the picture that we can see there is that of the police car that was hit. By the way, there was a mistake there. It's not that the police car was hit, but the police car collided with the train after it did not stop. And the article was published in the Sunday Mail. So the first article was published in the Sunday Mail, and they've got the original piece, the original story over what has happened. So if you click in the link there, you'll be able to follow. And if you're in Guero, just type in the comment box there and let us know where you're logging in from, of your witnesses. Good evening to you. And quickly, just as we proceed, yeah. Just reading people's comments here. Chida kuchinzwe pa ma comments kutpakamira say, how is it in the comments there? Another coming to you. The judge, Justice Mafusire, High Court Judge Mafusire, Justice Mafusire, who worked hand in hand and over running under instructions from Luke Malaba to grant the, excuse me, I'm hoping that the picture shows here. I think it is It is giving us, yes, there we are. There we are. We've got the picture there. So to grant Fadzai Mahere, a politician who was promoted by Emerson Mnangagwa so that she becomes a Thokozani Kupe character fitting for the times in order to dilute Nelson Chamisa. So Justice Mafusire, who gave this controversial verdict to, and as I say, I'm saying it here from our investigations, to deceive the people of Zimbabwe that she is an opposition person when in fact she is a plant for Emerson Mnangagwa. By the way, this judgment is a previous judgment that was done to project her so that she appears as if she is vociferously against Emerson Mnangagwa in a lawsuit that was for defamation and was baseless. And there were falsehoods that were declared by this particular Justice Mafusire. He has declared another controversial ruling, this time to allow a scam, 138,000 US dollars of a scam. And the scam it relates to property purchase. And this is property in which, a property case in which the ZANU PF former MP Munyarazi Kareke was implicated. And so the company that was suing Munyarazi Kareke has lost this 138,000 US dollars. I hope you're getting this right. This is Justice Mafusire, and for people to understand here, this is the corruption that is happening in our country. And the kind of corruption that is there at present is bigger than what people think. It's bigger than Wicknell Chivaya. It is corruption that is right at the top and not the ticky, tacky, tingy, touchy, social media corruption that activists like Mahere try to appear as if they're criticizing of the likes of Wicknell Chifaya and the like. The type of corruption that is there, it relates to state security manipulation of the masses. It is a Rhodesia special branch operation in which Emerson Mnangagwa keeps repeating the same method that propelled him to power in the late 1970s, and that is of promoting characters who have got a checkered background, who appear as if they are for the masses, who appear as if they are against corruption, when in fact they are the corruption themselves. And what Emerson Mnangagwa did in 2016, when he came up to claim that he was not corrupt and that he was against corruption, those people who were following events back then will remember in 2016, when he started criticizing the G40 ZANU-PF faction and was an anti-corruption activist, just like Fadzai Mahere, then all of a sudden to turn out just after the coup to be the corruption itself. And so what Emerson Mnangagwa did soon after that, he started promoting characters. The first character that was promoted as a victim of corruption and a victim of ZANU-PF was Thokozani Kupe in 2018. Thokozani Kupe eventually destroyed the then MDCT and MDC alliance. And Emerson Mnangagwa created another character soon after that in the name of Sengezo Chabangu. When Sengezo Chabangu came, he came and he raked off the opposition party that was back then, and then he took over what is now called the CCC. Now, during that time, Emerson Mnangagwa had planted Fadzai Mahere, By the way, a lot of people didn't know Fadzai Mahere did not get security clearance. She was not cleared at a security level when she was made spokesperson of the MDC Alliance. I was there. I was the security vetter myself, Simbachi Kanza. And at that time, she dodged an interview, a security interview that I was granted by the president of the opposition, Nelson Chamisa. And so she dodged out of that. I've got a recording of that and the meeting notes that ensued. And there were crucial questions about her background, who she is and what she's up to. She dodged all those. Now, quickly, fast forwards, what Emerson Mnangagwa has done soon after that is to make her appear as if she is better than anyone else, that she's the cream crop, she's the darling of the opposition. And how did Emerson Mnangagwa do that? Emerson Mnangagwa passed instructions through Luke Malava straight to Justice Mafusire, who we see in the picture there, to make Fadzai Mahere win a fake defamation case that she had raised against Emerson Mnangagwa's advisor, Petina Gapa, his traditional advisor, Petina Gapa. Now, that particular case, I myself, Zimbachi Kanza, was a witness in that case. So I've got the court file, I've got the affidavit and the chunks of evidence to show Mahere is a plant. But worse to this, Mahere had no case whatsoever against Bettina Gapa when she falsely claimed that she was never assisted by ZANU-PF into the University of Zimbabwe when she only had 13 qualifying points for the UZ law degree and many other things that she was assisted on, including a well-known document that she was assisted by a colleague of hers. So quickly, of yours and Nissa's, ZANU-PF, through Justice Mafusire, Mnangagwa through Justice Mafusire, then made Mahere appear as if she was a winner who is being persecuted by Mnangagwa's advisor. And yippee! All of a sudden, she came out a winner. The only opposition person in history to win a defamation case, worse, a fake defamation case for that matter. And lastly, here, Fadzai Mahere, her claims that she does not have a checkered background relating to marital affairs. That is also false. She does have a very long background, very, very strong allegations for several years before the tweets that were made by Petina Gapa had been made. And those statements were already in the public domain. And so quickly, she is a plant. She's a very notorious plant, pretty plant for that matter, and someone who appears as if she is being persecuted by ZANU-PF and that she's against corruption, when in actual fact she was promoted by corruption itself. So quickly, Zimbabweans need to get this is investigatory news. This is what we have spent years investigating. This is what I, Simba Chikanza, also was tasked to do during or in the last 5, 6 years to thoroughly vet Fadzai Mahere, and she dodged a vetting session, that a meeting that I had with her. But not just that, she did more. She was promoted by Luke Malaba to appear as if she's against corruption when she's just part of the Hopo Chingono program that people saw later on. Hopo Chingono talking with intelligence officers and recordings coming out. One of them where she was being projected as the only person in the opposition. Zimbabweans, when you hear someone say this thing, this is the only person, and there are women who were raped, there are people who have died, who are really committed to democracy and to anti-corruption, and only one person is being said to be the only one in the opposition. You must ask yourself questions. Then you should know that someone has been promoted by the state, and the state has cooked up a nice, sweet story, sweet, persistent story, where the person gets arrested, rearrested. She gets involved in court cases. And then the state projects her as if she's a victim, the same way the state promoted Hopo Chingono, the state promoted Tinashe Jonasi. Make these people appear as if they are against ZANU-PF and the Mnangagwa. In actual fact, they're agents. In the same way that Mnangagwa came to the war front at the end of the war in 77, 78, claiming that he was being persecuted by the Rhodesia regime, when in actual fact he was Rhodesia himself. So quickly, this is the bits, Javier Zunisas. You've got the bits here. Click the share button. These are just two stories, briefly sharing with you. Watch out for Mahere. When you see these stories being popped out and she's appearing as if she's against Mnangagwa, that is all stage managed. She's a very corrupt person. She's one of the most controversial lawyers. And those in the legal fraternity know her in Zimbabwe. She is not clean. She is a Mnangagwa plant. And there's enough documentation to show how extremely dark a person that she is, apart from her face. But I guess just saying it in a jocular way there. This is your news network, Zimbabweans nation around the world. We're going to be cutting now. We investigate news for you. We give you. If anyone wants to see any documentation about this, to let us know. But stay away from characters like Mahere. Never allow them even to speak to you. They will manipulate you. They will manipulate you into believing that you are against them. Right, so quickly, sorry, I apologize if your has got cut off there. Hoping that people get this. So as I said before here, be very careful, Zimbabweans. Stay away from characters like Mahere and never give them even a subhuku position in society. They will destroy a society. Mahere is just another face of Emerson Mnangagwa, as you can see. She's just a notorious face of Mnangagwa. There's nothing. She's just a pretty face. Everything else is Mnangagwa deep inside herself, a personal level. Very, very corrupt, extremely devious. And she's way more efficient, obviously, than Thokozani Kupe. She's more convincing than Thokozani Kupe. But the goal, the end game, is exactly the same. It's just all going to end in Prikabe. Vasikana vekwa Prikabe ava vakajambiswa kubva kuna Kupe mukaendeswa kuna Welshman naBT naChabangu mukajambiswa ikozvo right now maakuendeswa to a pretty face, if you want to call her, if that is a term that someone could describe her, if that is a description. But very, very corrupt woman. Be careful. We have warned you before about many characters, including Vana Hopewell, so many characters. Uyu munonyasonyura zvakanaka uyu. Anonyatsokunyudzai, anokudestroy upenyu hwenyu. Because not only is she corrupt, her background is corrupt. And she is a very, 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 very deceitful person. There's no truth apart from just sweet talk. But her family is also very dangerous. There is a young man who got kidnapped around the time when she was removed from the CCC as spokesman. Around that time, that young man was very clear. We're going to play the video soon. The young man stated that the men who were assaulting me, the young man has got bloody cuts all over his body. And he said, Wombe Raishen, he said, look, Patanga Chirowa, when we're being beaten up, we're being asked, why did you remove Fadzai Mahere? What is your plan? Makamu visire Mahere, plan yenyu ndiyei. Saka nzwisisai maZimbabweans. Mahere chigananda chihombe, chigananda chakangonaka kuface chete. Everything else is dark. Very, very violent person. Very, very violent background. Baba vake ndo vaita torture, ndo vaitosaina mapepa ekutorture maticha from 2005 when he was PEMSEC. You need to understand. In 2012, you read David Cota's book, Stephen Mahere was fired by his own boss, Robert Mugabe, for being too ZANU-PF. Imagine you are in the same party, someone who is in the same party with Mugabe, and Mugabe fires him for being too ZANU-PF, too notorious. You need to understand, that is how high, how deep, how dark, how chiganandaristic Fadzai Mahere is. Now you need to understand how CCC collapsed. CCC vanhu vakaikolapsa. Muimwenga mshungonzi ndevana Chabangu. Yes, vana Chabangu, they played their part. But Mahere iyeyu is part of that whole plot so that she comes out as an alternative. If Zimbabweans, you allow this girl to become even a councillor in the country, you are gone. Muchauraiwa. Makazviona, you saw it on video. Makaona Wombe Raishe Nende. I think I need to put up the video here and people can see it. Video Rawombe, aine cuts all over his body. And men had told him, the men who assaulted him, while they were doing it, they were asking, demanding answers. Why did you remove Fadzai Mahere? Makamvisire Fadzai Mahere. Saka nzwisisai maZimbabweans. If you allow chigananda chisigana ichichi in your meetings, mapera, maita sei? Mapera, pera. Bvisai zvinhu zvamunangagwa zvese izvi, maplans zvamunangagwa izvizvi. Togara chikuudzai nokuti isusu tinenge takainvestigata. Inini Simba Chikanza ndini ndakataswa to vet Fadzai Mahere, kumuta security vet. And akatiza mumeeting. Kweta sweet talk obva abuda. Iyeyu. Chenjererai. Mucheke background yaStephen Mahere also. Munzwisise kuti family yachona zvigananda, asi zvigananda zvemhanga-mhanga. Zvigananda zveviolence. Asi zvigananda zvemari chete. Zvigananda zveviolence and zvegrab. Zvekutora, zvekubvuta. That's why you see kuti whenever she looks so squeaky clean. Vamwana munhu angoita sweet, you must know kuti munhu yemuroi. Vamwana munhu achingoita sweet, nice. And hapana kana, then you must know kuti munhu yemuroi. It's the same thing. Bhururu wake uyu Fadzai uyu Hopewell. Paakatanga so, achita zikuno kuti journalism, investigative journal, so sweet talking. And achitaura soka voice kanenge chingonakidzirira so. Wangona munhu achitaura kudaro unobva watongoziva kuti munhu uyu ari dangerous. Bvunzai vapfana venyu vakati tortured. Musatevere zvigananda zveviolence. Fadzai Mahere chigananda cheviolence ichi. You have too much evidence to show you. And I see chigananda cheviolence, chigananda chekunyepa. She lies, muskana uyu, anonyepa. Everything about her is a lie. Fadzai. Everything about her is about deceiving.
If you don't know this, ask my lawyers ari muHarare. Gara pasi nemalawyer. Umboyatsogara pasi nawo. Kana vanouya vanonwa doro unongomutengera doro. Chimbotiudzawo nenyaya yaFadzai Mahere kuti ndiani Fadzai Mahere. Anoitei. You get to understand background yake. Saka zivai, those who vanga vachiti hatisi kunzwisisa kuti zviri kureva chii. Fadzai Mahere uyu, jaji akamupa chifake defamation award anonzi Mafusire uyu, has allowed another scam here 138,000 corrupt people. Musatendere zvigananda zveviolence izvizvi in your communities. Munopera. Tatenda.